the lady that pops up there. Right. Yeah, so in terms of, I'm sure we've got a mixture on the call of those of you that have obviously used Playwaze for summer, but that obviously those of you who will be new for Christmas, adding your activities. So the plan today will obviously at the start, it will be a mix of just showing you how to get started. There have been quite a lot of changes that we've made from summer. Some of you might have noticed these anyway, but I'll obviously walk through those as we go through the system as well. In terms of structure, there's probably going to be quite a lot of me talking for the first 40 minutes of this. And then what we'll do is I'll make sure there's time at the end for questions. What you can do, if you want to type in questions in the chat as we go, we've obviously got Heart staff on, so if there's a mixture of Playwaze questions versus some Heart Sport partnership questions, you can obviously put those in as well. We'll do our best to come back to you, but we will have 15 minutes at the end to run through those and then ask any more questions. So if you're worried you might forget your question, just put it in the chat and we'll try and come back to you as much as possible through there as well. Okay. Fab. Right. Apologies if I lose my way because there are a few people still joining at the same time, so I will try and do both of those. Right, I'm just going to share my screen. Right, can everyone see my screen? Hopefully that's popped up. Yeah. Cool. So this is the Playwaze, www.playwaze.com. So this is if you're completely brand new to getting started with us. The first thing you will need to do is come to playwaze.com and register. Okay, so this is the website, and then we literally just click register. So the first thing you'll need to do is create a Playwaze account. What you then can do from this is we'll send you a unique link to make sure that you need to set up your activities inside of Hertfordshire Sport Partnership. So there's a network and you need to be inside of that. So the first process is also we are very scared of you. I'm not scared of me. I am just going to mute everyone. Sorry, 1 second. Right, that should be cool. So once you've registered, obviously those of you that can log back in, just log in. There shouldn't be anything different. You can access where your activities were in the summer, so don't worry too much. If you've already got your account, just log in. That process doesn't change. You don't need to recreate another community. So from here, those of you that are brand new, the first bit of your setup is to go through this form. So just to explain and give you context, the community is basically your space inside of Playwaze to host your activities. So you need to set up your organization space before you add your activities. Okay, so there's just a little bit that you need to go through here. Obviously you enter your name, your website, contact email address and phone number, and then you can add your venue as well. Okay, so just complete this form. This will look kind of similar to the activities create. A lot of our create wizards in the platform are all very similar. So as you continue through, a lot of you would have already done this, but obviously you can select the type of sport or activity that you deliver. It's a type ahead here. You can also search for other activities. So we've got health, food and drink. So depending on what you run, if they aren't on those lists, that's also fine. You can just press can't find your activity and you can type in. So it might be multi-sports or something like that. Okay. Continue. The feature that you want, there's lots of features in Playwaze. Don't be bamboozled by this page. The only one that you need to turn on is the activities feature here. Okay, so it's the first tile on that features page, and then just press continue. Don't need to worry about the other ones for now. Go through and add your logo and cover photo and then some colors. So this just means that when any parents are clicking through Playwaze and in your in the Hertfordshire Sport Network, or they land in your community, they recognize it's you. So it's a very easy for parents to go, right, I recognize the logo, I recognize the colors. Really simple to find it's you. Once that's done, your community will look a little bit something like this. Sorry, mine's very bland. It's very Playwaze at the moment. So I'm sure it'll look a lot nicer when you guys go through and run through this and add your logos. So this is the page that you'll land on. So this is your community homepage, okay? For those of you that log back in, this hopefully will be similar to you in terms of what we did in the summer. So this page should be familiar, okay? I'll just quickly run through some navigation and almost some housekeeping for December. So What we have brought in since the summer is an update on kind of contact information and where parents can get in contact with you to make that information really visible for them, just to make it easier for them to get in contact with you, basically. So the first thing you do, obviously, those of you that create your community from the start, that information is already going to be included. So your email address and phone number. Those that have done summer bookings and potentially Easter bookings as well, what you will need to do when you first come back to the platform is make sure you update your contact information. Okay, so what this means now is that on the activity finder, that when parents are searching for an activity, there is actually some contact information for them as well. Anne Hart's had lots of emails basically asking whether people needed football boots for your activities and sorts of specific equipment. So this then allows them to get in contact with you directly. Okay. So your first bit of housekeeping when you log back into the system will be to add these. Anyone adding your community for the first time, you don't need to worry too much because you've obviously done it, just you would have added it through the create flow that I just ran through quickly then. All right. Just some navigation around this page. Obviously you can invite members, so you can invite people. So if you've got colleagues that you want to invite when you first start, so if you know you've got a couple members of staff that are going to help you add your activities, you can use this invite button to add them to your community. From the members section there, so I can click into the members. What you can then do is make them administrators, so this will then give them access. In your community, there are levels. So if you're an administrator, you'll have certain buttons that I can see on my page. So I'm an admin of this because I've just created it. So I can see the settings buttons and the create activities button. If you're a parent that comes through here to book, they're not going to have access to these buttons. Okay, so there is a different look. It's not a front end and a back end. It's just they'll show different permission settings when they log in. All right. So from your settings menu, the edit is where you go to update your contact information. So through here, I can obviously add a description, but these are the three fields that I want to flag to you. So your website, email address, and phone number. Okay, so those are the ones that we want to point you to fill back in. From this page as well, I'd also just check your security settings and check you're happy with what you've got ticked in here. Before you even get started adding any of your Christmas activities, just do a quick check of your settings and your security settings. Okay. And then just hit save. Saved at the bottom of the page. All right. You can obviously go through this menu as well. You can update your branding from here. So if you want to update, you can also obviously do it from the images on the home screen. So don't necessarily have to go into the branding page. And then you've got your manage members section. So I'll just show you what this looks like. So this is me and my child account that I've got in here. So to make, obviously not going to make my child account an admin, but just to turn someone on as an admin, I just click this button. So once we've gone through that invite process, you can also see it here, invite and add members. You can make them an admin through here, and that means they'll have the same level of access as you. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so once your settings are all up to date and you're happy, this is when we can start creating our activities. So it's literally hit the big plus button in the middle. The ones you want to focus on, obviously we do have live stream and on-demand content in the platform, but I imagine most of your camps now are back to in-person. So the one you want to focus on is physical activity, any in-person activity at a physical location. Okay. The next step here is to add information about your activity. So this is similar to the Create Community Wizard. So as you walk through this, basically the system will ask you questions. So you can upload images. This is I'd say the image is probably one of the most important things on the activity finder. If you add multiple activities to the platform, make sure they've got different images, just so you've got a bit of differentiation in the platform and also on the finder. But also it's just that engaging. It's the first piece of the puzzle that parents will see when they log in here. So you can see the image that's on this one here. If you don't add one, or it just looks a little bit like it can look really plain because we just have a grayed out image if you don't add something. So you can always create your activities and go back in and add them later. But I definitely recommend having some image stock ready to go when you're ready to add your activities. In terms of your activities title and kind of learnings from summer, I think we agreed, I know the Hearts team have got some info to help you on kind of how to name your activities and things like that. But it would be useful to have your, for parents to find you, to potentially have your provider name in the title or shortened versions of it. I know there's been some stuff that the Hearts team are working quite hard on with you to give you some information about what's best and how it can look. So for now, I'm just going to go ET activities, and then I'm just going to do a netball camp. I'm going to change my activity to football. So this is taken from my community at the start. So obviously I created it with football, but you can completely change this, so it doesn't matter too much. This is obviously through the Finder. If someone was specifically looking for a netball activity, they can search for that through the Finder. So in your filters section, there'll be about an activity, and you can search for sports through here as well. Okay. You can also categorize your activities. So this could be, you could use categories as like a key stage 1, key stage 2, or age groups, or if you do a participation versus performance camps over Christmas. So you can use this category section to kind of add some extra detail for anyone that's booking, so they know they're booking onto the right thing. Okay, I don't know if you run gold, silver, bronze level activities, etc. So you can kind of include some extra detail. Description of your activity. So you want to include as much information in here as possible. I think you'll also be provided with a bit of a guideline in terms of what would be useful here. I always recommend putting information about the facility. So we do have a Google map pin in the activity when you create it, so it will find your physical location, but it will also be important in here to include things like disabled access, where's best to park, anything more about your activity, anything about equipment children need to bring, drop off and pick up times, etc. So anything that you think you need to add some extra detail on would be in this description section here. Okay, so you can add some text into here. We also have, if you want to use it, or if you have something like a promo video. Oh, sorry, that's my Siri trying to speak to me while I'm talking, sorry. We've also got the opportunity here to add a video if you've got a promo video or something. So what that does is then it will appear on the Finder. So if you add a link to a video or you upload a video, it will appear over the image. And it just allows parents, when they're booking an activity, to kind of watch a bit of your promo video to see if it's the right activity for them. You can obviously leave that blank. If you don't have a video, it doesn't matter too much. You've obviously still got the image, but if you do have some extra content there, you can obviously include that as well. Okay. This next page is more of a labeler about giving parents as much information about your activity. So you can include things like disability. So if your session is good for anyone with a hearing impairment or a physical impairment, you can include those in your descriptions if you want to. You can leave this page completely blank. I'd recommend definitely in this section including something around age range, especially if you're splitting your 5 to 11 group, or if you've got different age categories. So you can literally just pop in the numbers here. You can obviously also select that they're male only, female only. I'm not sure there will be much of that, but if you do run like female only sessions or male only sessions, you've got the option to just include that as extra information on your activity. And then also the difficulty as well. These are standard fields, other than where you can type in. So it will just appear as obviously mixed, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. Okay. And then the final part of this is just where you want to have expressions of interest. So if your activity is booked up, so you hit your maximum number of participants, what parents can do is register their interest. So if anyone drops out, you can then message anyone that's on your interested list in the platform. I'll show you how to do this when we speak through managing your activities once it's been created. But this basically allows you to message a group of parents and go, right, this space has popped up. If you're still available, you can now go and book on. Okay, but I'll show you how to do that at the end. But this basically triggers that. So do you want to have an interested list, yes or no? And just tick that box if you want to take them. If not, if you know you're fully booked and you want to manage it separately, you can leave that unticked. Okay. So obviously this is the not the trickiest part, but the bit that probably have to pay most attention to when you're creating your activities is the schedule. So we've got 3 options in the platform. I imagine most of you will be using the repeating, but we also have a one-off. So if you're just running one activity day, you can just click to one-off in the middle. And we also have blocks available in the platform. So Blocks is if you're running an activity and you have to book all of the days. So our repeating sections are much more flexible. So as a parent, I can come on, if you're running a Monday to Friday, repeating allows me to select the Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and I can miss out the Tuesday and Thursday. With blocks, if I was running a Monday to Friday, that booking would mean I'm booked on from Monday to Friday. Okay, so there's just a bit of context in terms of repeating. One-off is just your one session, and then blocks in the platform as well. Okay, I'm just going to focus today on the repeating. The other two run similar to this as well. So you set your frequency, add your activity days. And there will be some more information in our knowledge base on the other two as well. So if you're not sure and want to have a little bit more of a look and find out and what they do and what happens in that. I'll show you examples of each one once we've finished this one as well. So I've got some other bits that I can show you what it looks like. Okay, so the first bit that you were asked to do in the platform when you come to repeating is obviously how often your activity happens. So if you're just running 1 week in December, you could just do daily from the 2 dates. I'm just going to do an example of 2 weeks. So if I know my camp is on, or my holiday activity is on a Monday to Wednesday, and then I just put my start time in. So this will be my start time for all 3 days. I've chosen weekly here because I'm going to do a window of 2 weeks. What this means in the platform, and when I set my dates, that it'll only turn on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So I will only have dates appear for the Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday in the series start and end date. So I can add a new schedule. So what I can do here is add a Thursday, Friday if it starts at a different time. So if you want to add them all in one, if you want to keep it nice and simple, you can add your Thursday, Friday separately. But obviously you can add your Thursday, Friday in here if they start at 11, etc. So there's quite a lot of flexibility in this scheduling with how you set up your activities. Okay. The series start and end date is when you want this frequency to start and end, basically. So you set how often this happens. So if I know I want my Mondays to start from the 29th of November, this would be the first Monday that would take place. So it's going to take every Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday in this window that I now set. So I'm going to go just to Friday the 17th. So that should be 3 weeks. 3 weeks of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays that will appear in my repeating sessions. Okay. Hopefully that's all making sense. If you have got any questions on this section, feel free to put it through to the chat. I'll try and get back to you on those ones as well. But this is a little bit in this section, a bit of trial and error to work out how your activities fit. I'll show you at the end how you can edit them as well. So there might be some different times that you have on a Tuesday, but that's totally fine. We can deal with that afterwards because we have got edits once your activity has been created. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that once we've actually created this activity. So the next part of this is just setting some more rules around your activity. So when you want your bookings to open and close, we can't. Open bookings is basically to manage participants not booking onto absolutely everything and blocking everything up all at once. So this one you might want to set it as 10 days before, 7 days before, so it just stages your booking for each day, but it's totally up to you. The one I would recommend definitely setting ahead of Christmas is obviously closed bookings, so making sure that your activities shut a day before they start. This just allows you more admin time to make sure you can check if you want to pull off your register to print it for the next day, etc. So this just gives you a bit of a like a firm, concrete register of who's actually in the platform. If you leave this blank, it will allow people to continue to book. So it would be worth just testing what would work best for you here, but I definitely recommend as a minimum having 1 day before you close your bookings to allow you to kind of check your registers, check you've got everything you need, check you've got the right numbers and the members of staff, etc. So it might even be 2 days before. Okay. We've got organizers in your sessions. So obviously this is me in here at the moment, but what I can do in my community is select organizers. So this means that they don't have full admin access, but they can manage your registers. So I know registers is obviously a really important part of actually tracking attendance for your funding, etc. So if you do have, I'm sure most of your admins, you don't register all of your sessions. So if you do have members of staff that are on certain days at certain venues, you can update this organizer role to match who that person is. I'll show you later about how you can change that on individual sessions, etc. But this just gives you some extra flexibility to share some of that admin, especially around registers on the day of activities. Okay. Setting a number on the limit of participants that you want to attend. So if I know that I only have 20 spaces available, this is what I put in here. This automatically is obviously taken away as a parent books their child onto an activity. That will go down to 19, 18 as they go. And this is where your interested list comes in. So once my 20 spaces have been taken, parents can choose to go onto your interested list. Okay. For venues, you can select your venue. I'm cheating a little bit because I've got one in here, but you can add new venues through the platform. Obviously, those of you in summer, your venue should still be in here, so you can just search and just add them. Anyone adding new, you can obviously add your different venues just through the create flow, so you can do this while you're creating your activity as well. And then the final step here is just adding the length of your session, so number of hours and minutes it takes place for. Okay, and then we just hit continue. Obviously you don't need to worry too much about this section because I know you're not going to be taking payments, so you can stay on not taking payments. The one thing I did just want to point out to you is our add-ons. So we saw activity providers use this in a number of ways during the summer. So this allows basically parents to select additional things to their booking when they go through the booking form. So we did see in summer that this was like sandwich options. If you've got sandwich options and you know what, like if you've got a number of cheese sandwiches versus ham sandwiches, etc. So you can add this information here. It might be purely based on equipment. You could use this for late pickup, early drop-off type things here. So if you know you can only have 5 people for early late pickups, you can set an item name. So I'll just give you an example here. So I'll do a late pickup for this one. And then I've got 10 spaces that I can manage late pickup because I've only got I've got a member of staff less, etc. Okay, and if you want to add more additional, you just click add. So if I then want to add sandwich options as well, I can add that. When a parent then goes through the booking form, they can literally just add it to individual days. So it's nice and simple for them, and they can go, right, well, I do need late pickup on the Wednesday, select it for Wednesday. Okay. This next page, so we've done if you're already in the Hertfordshire network, you don't need to worry too much, but this especially for those creating new communities, so anyone new for delivering at Christmas, if your community is not in the Hertfordshire network, so that unique link at the start, this form will not appear in your community. Okay, this is probably one of the most important parts because this is where you're going to ask, it's the eligibility booking form basically. So before any parent books on their child, obviously they need to give you some information. So there's things in here like emergency contact details, name of school, their age, their date of birth, etc. So that booking form won't appear if you haven't firstly used that link, but also just don't deselect it. So you need to keep this one here. We've defaulted it, so it will automatically be in your activities. This is to save you a little bit of admin, just to make sure that the system's collecting this information from parents. So yeah, this one should hopefully be in there. But if you get to this page and it doesn't quite look right, you probably need to get in touch with us or Hertfordshire just to make sure that your setup is okay. But this form should definitely be in there. Okay. We've also got QR codes in the platform, so especially where you've got repeating activities, this is just to save some time on your registers. So you can still manually do the registers with your session organizer, but you can also use our QR codes. So you can send one to the organizer and then your parents scan the QR code when they come in, or you can send your participants in their booking confirmation. So you can send them an individual QR code each, and then your admin can scan it, or your organizer and admin. So you've got some extra permissions around this here. And what that automatically will do is move them in your attendance list from booked to attended. Okay, so you've got the option to use QR codes in there if you'd like to, and if you've got that ability to do that. So, all right. This is your notifications page, so there is quite a lot of information in here. This allows you to kind of send reminders before activities. So along with when a parent books, they'll receive, first of all, they'll receive a confirmation email. So they will receive an email saying you've booked on this person to these dates in an email. Sometimes this is probably really useful for everyone to know. It might land in their junk mail. So just to nudge parents, if they've confirmed their booking, they will have definitely received a confirmation email. It will be there somewhere. But you can also send reminders. So along with that booking confirmation, 2 days before your activity, for example, you could send a reminder to say your activity is coming up. It will have these aren't you can't edit them, they're automated by the system. It'll look like the booking confirmation, but it's just basically a reminder to say your activity is coming up at this venue, at this location, at this time. And that can be done by the system, so you can put the number of days in before and just manage your notifications here. Okay. The final section of this is the last part of our activity create now, is where you want to publish and promote your activities. So all you need to make sure that is ticked is the first box, but you can leave them both publicly open. I'm just going to untick this now because obviously this is demo content, so I don't want to share this wider. But this basically means that your activity gets shared on the activity finder. Okay, so we want to make sure this box is ticked. Just for reference, if you don't want it to appear on the finder yet because you want to check it once you've created, so if you want to have a few mess around goes before you actually get fully started, that's totally fine. Untick it here. You can then check what your activity looks like before it goes on the finder. Obviously the launch date is a little bit later, so you have a window now, so I wouldn't worry too much. So keep it ticked, but obviously if you untick it, that might be why it's not appearing on the finder. And then I hit finish, and then it should create my activity. Okay, so I've got my Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday happening for the next 3 weeks. So my schedule's popped out here, so I've got my individual days. It's got the date that I'm on currently, so I'm currently selected as Monday the 29th. And then it's got, I didn't write a description, but then I've also got my sign up deadline. So 1 day before my activity. So it's got for my 29th, I need to sign up by the 28th. And then my minimum and maximum age is in here as well. Okay. Right, sorry, just grabbing a drink. The next step from here, so I just want to show you kind of how you can manage your activity now it's in the platform. Okay, so you've got a couple of options here. So what we have in the system is that you can edit individual days or you can edit your entire series. Okay, so there's two settings. I'm in this individual day at the moment, so I'm on Monday the 29th. So for example, if I know on Monday the 29th I want to reduce the number of places I have available because I only got 10 places on Monday, it's just what I've been allocated. I'd want to use this edit button. So editing this activity is purely just the number card that I'm in at the top. So the date that I select, so if I select Wednesday the 1st, if I edit this activity, I'm just going to be editing Wednesday the 1st. Okay, so you've got two options here. The second option is obviously to edit all of your sessions. So if I've now been given 10 extra spaces, I can then edit all of my sessions from this flow here. So I can click into here and I can click edit, and this will basically bring up the it's very similar to the create flow that we had at the start. So as I just ran through here, and I can click through to my schedule and you can see my schedule in here. So if I wanted to completely change my numbers here, if I wanted to change my start time for all of my sessions, I can do it from here. Okay, I just wanted to show you so you can see the difference between the two. So obviously you can edit an individual day. So Wednesday, I want to just edit this day, or you can edit the whole series of your activities. Okay, the only thing to pre-warn you on this is that if you edit an individual day and then you edit the series afterwards, the hierarchy in this is that if you edit an individual day, it then won't be rewritten. So if you then go and edit the whole series, that activity card, so that Wednesday the 1st will not change to what you've edited it in the series. So once you make any changes to an individual to the day, they're locked and you won't be able to overwrite them with the whole edit of the whole series. Okay. You've also got the options to cancel sessions in here. So if you know that you've got, I know we got caught out by bank holidays in summer, etc. So you can obviously have bank holidays you can get rid of in here. And you can also open your register from here as well. So there's lots of stuff going on in this page. I just wanted to quickly touch on, obviously, I said I wanted to create a reserve list here. So what we are got in the platform is they end up being unassigned. So when an interested list is created, they come into your unassigned list, and you can send a message to all of them in the platform. So anyone that's registered for your interest for your session, you can send them a message here. So I've now got 4 spaces available. Please come book onto the activity if you're still available and still want to book. Okay, so you can actually send some messages from your activity days if you've got space available. Okay. The next part to show you is my activity. I'm just checking where I've made it. Hopefully this is going to play ball with me. It's not playing ball with me. 1 second. Here it is. This is the one. So I just wanted to show you what a block booking would look like, just to give you context of the difference between the two. So obviously my repeating session day is all my individual cards. But if I'm doing a Monday, so this example I've got in front of me is a Monday to Thursday. So this is, they need to put the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So the cards look a little bit different in here. Exactly the same structure as your edit. So you can edit the whole block, or you can edit one block. And then you can see your bookings as they start to come through, minimum age, activity venue. I just wanted to quickly show you the register. So you've got the list in here. In your network, you'll have all your extra fields in here as well. So let's go back to here. That was just my demo community. So you can see here, as I scroll along, you'll have all the extra information available in this register report. So this might be the one that you want to download the day before the session. So that's why that closed booking setting is there. So I want to open my register and download it the day before. So from there, I can then see all of my list of participants. Okay. So from here, that's where I can export it to a CSV, and then you can manually manage it if you want to. What you can also do from here is obviously manage your bookings. So this is where you can move people in and out. So obviously I can select if I've got people signed up to my session. If I go to one that I've got someone booked onto, sorry, lots of clicking around. So if I click here, I can move my children across from book to went. So this will be available for an organizer. As well as an admin, so your organizers can do this, and then I can just move them across to when, and it moves them in. You can also do this from the app. So if you've got session organizers that don't want to log in on a computer to do this, and they've got it on their phones or tablets, they can access it through the app, but mainly through the they can just use the web on their phones as well. So it makes it nice and simple there, and they don't have to download the app. But you've got both options there, and then you can see that I've moved my 2 booked attendees into attended. And this just updates my attendance records as well. So nice and simple through the web. You can quickly come and do this after your sessions are finished each day, and go from there. Okay, and then you should be able to see in here that I've got things like 8 places left. So I had a maximum of 10, but I've got 2 booked on. So you've got a constant view of the numbers of your activity that's taken on in here as well. The final thing I wanted to show you in your community is actually the reports that you get. So as well as your register that I just showed you, then you also have your own reporting section in your community. So you'll have a full list of members. So this allows you to kind of view everyone that's joined. So even if parents have come to have a click around but haven't booked anything, but they've joined your community, they'll be a member. So you'll have a list here of kind of their details. So if you do need to email someone or find anyone's information, you can do this from this section. Okay. So if you need to find someone's contact details or someone's specific bit of information. And then we've also got your activities report here, so you can see a really clear number of all of your activities in your community. So if you've uploaded 4 or 5, from this section you can see the actual number of bookings you've had and the number of attendees. So as you go through your activities, I imagine your bookings will increase, and then your activity attendances, once your activities will start to go up. Okay, just to show you a little bit what this looks like. I can just expand this, and then I can see the number of days that they're booked onto. So my sessions are on 10th, 11th and 12th, and I can have a little look at who's booked onto those as well. And you can obviously export these as well. So up to you in terms of how you want to do your reporting and nosing. But if you do just want to go and have a quick glance at your activities that have been set up and see how you're doing for bookings, you can see it from this reporting section as well. Okay. Perfect. So if I go back to my home, you can see I've added to this is just a demo section, not similar to where the hearts one is, but obviously you can add your multiple activities in here as well. So you could have week 1 and week 2, or you could have your different sports. If you've got different sports or activities happening, you can add them separately. All right. Just the final thing is obviously your activities are being shared on the Hertfordshire Finder, but you can also share them yourself. So if you've got specific networks that you want to share them in, we've got some share links here. And this basically just allows, you can tweet them, put them on Facebook, but it'll allow parents just to go to your sessions. So obviously Hertfordshire are sharing everyone's on their website. But if you also have a community that you want to share them with, or you've got some free school meal children that you specifically want to send it to, you can do that from here. So it's just that share button, and this link at the top, you can just give that to them. You can share that in a Facebook group, WhatsApp group, or on a tweet. You can also embed these on your website if you do want to spend the extra time of kind of embedding them. So if anyone's nosing through your website, they can see your half places and half activities. You can just copy this. It's just simple to post it in a HTML block into your website, and this will then appear. I'll just show you quickly what it will look like. So when I paste that in, this is the view that a parent will get, so you can kind of see the difference of your activities of when they've not got access. So this doesn't know that I'm obviously logged in. It's just showing me a share block here, and then I can start clicking into these activities as a parent. Okay. Perfect. The best thing I'd recommend for your activities, obviously, if it all goes wrong, you can delete them and start again. So feel free to definitely have a bit of a mess around with the first couple that you create. One thing to remember here is if you delete your activity, all of the information with that will go as well. So any reporting, etc. So especially where you've got those of you in summer where you've got old activities, you've kind of got two options. So with your old activities, either rename them and make sure they've got summer listed in them in their name somewhere. So you can obviously go back through and edit the name to say summer activity, so parents don't go looking at the wrong thing. But also if you do want to remove them, so you've got a completely clean community, I'd just make sure you've downloaded any reports, etc. that you wanted from the summer, just for your own information. Because obviously if you hit delete here, there will be a warning, so it will pre-warn you that everything's going to go from here. But just a flag from summer, obviously, if you do press delete here, it'll double ask you to make sure that I'm sure you want to remove it. But then all of the data attached to that activity will be removed as well. So my 2 attendances here will be removed from my reports. Okay. That's probably enough of me talking for the moment. And I'm just going to quickly, I've seen some questions that are obviously coming through. So I'm just going to stop my share and have a quick look at questions. One, bear with me while I just open the chat. Shelley, I don't know if you've been answering bits as well. Well, I don't know if I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to
no, that's fine.
while I was going through. Right, where have we got to? So I know that Shelley's obviously just mentioned here that you've got templates for images and things like that that will be shared afterwards. So what we've got in the platform, obviously when I added my image, they all go across your finders as well. So Shelley's got the details of what the best size for those is, so they appear and they fill the full block. So those will be shared with you as well. Apologies if I did go quite quickly through that. I'm really good at talking really fast once I get going, but obviously this has been recorded, so if there are any things that you weren't sure of or missed as I went through, you can go through and obviously pause me. You probably want to mute me as well at some points, and you just watch what I was doing, but that is in there as well. So can people see these? This is a good question. Can people see the activities using the link if they do not have a Playwaze account? So that last bit that I just shared at the end, yes. So that's purely a share link. So if you don't have a Playwaze account, it will just appear in their browser. So they can just click in, have a look. The booking flow, that will be actually really useful just to show you what it looks like for a parent. So apologies, I missed that bit here. So from the Finder, when a parent books, I'm logged in here, so this will cheat a little bit on the system. But if I just press book as an example here, it'll take them through to a booking flow. At this point, when they press, obviously at the moment, so just to give some clarity here in terms of language as well, the tab at the top here is who you are booking as. So at the moment, I am the parent, so I'm in the parent account. If I want to add my child or dependent, in the system, we call it dependent accounts, but they're obviously in for half in terms of what you're doing. There'll be child accounts. So this is the button you'll want to select. Once you engage in that flow, it will ask you to create your account. So as soon as a parent will click into here, it will go, right, you need to register basically register your account to continue. So a parent will have to register their account to continue basically. So I'm just going to click enter myself for now. And this is the booking form I was talking about at the start. So on that eligibility page that we got to, so that we've defaulted for you, this is to make sure that obviously parents complete this information on behalf of their children as well while they're booking. Okay, so this booking form will appear and then they can go through. I won't complete this all now because the first time obviously it's a long form. Just to remind you here, with the booking form, once a parent has completed this, once the system will save their information. So the next time that they book, they won't have to re-enter all of this information. So it feels quite long at the start. Obviously, all that information needs to be completed just the first time. And then when they book again, or they choose another activity, and that works across activity providers. So if they're booking netball the first week with activity provider 1, when they go and do activity provider 2 for the next week, it won't ask them because the booking form is generic across all of your activity providers. So that makes it nice and simple for your parents. They won't have to re-enter that information. The system will purely remember it. Okay. But hopefully that's useful just to kind of clarify here. Obviously at the top, it will say, I imagine you might get some booking questions from parents. They've just got to check who they're actually booking on behalf of. We can also, I think Hearts are going to share some information about age brackets in the system as well, just to make sure parents know that if they're meant to have booked their children on and not themselves, it will do a little flag to basically be, are you sure you're meant to be booking, versus a 5 to 11-year-old versus someone who's maybe 40 booking onto your activities, just to make sure you as activity providers get the correct data as well. But that will all be managed. We can set those groups as default, so you don't need to worry about that too much. Okay, I'm just going to jump back into the chat now. Shelley, I don't know if that might be a you question on the home educated children.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
So the way that codes are being dealt with for winter, and just so everyone's aware, we are referring to this as winter delivery as opposed to Christmas, because there are some families that don't celebrate Christmas. So I think you'll find across the country when you hear it spoken about, we're referring to it as winter. So for winter, the codes have been issued to the schools. I just want to give you a bit of an idea actually of how the marketing's going. The codes have been issued to the schools, and the schools have begun communicating with the families who are eligible to send their children to the camps. Any home educated children should be known to the county council. So there is a home education team who have said that they will send out the codes to the relevant families within the home education sphere as well. There are new codes for this year. Existing codes will still work. What we're doing by changing the codes, it helps us to capture new bookings for the winter period. It helps us to understand which schools have been more efficient and effective at sharing the codes. But yeah, there is going to be a different code that will be sent out to home educators. But if they had a code from previous summer or Easter, then that code will still work. One of the other things we're doing is working a lot more intensively with healthcare providers and support services and agencies, and we've kind of, Orla and I have worked really, really hard to make sure that we speak to as many of those referrers as possible. So there will be children who don't necessarily meet the free school meal criteria, but who are coming from very, very vulnerable backgrounds. And the line that we're taking is that we will provide a code to a referring support agency. So it could be a family support worker, it could be a SENCO, it could be a teacher, it could be a caseworker, somebody that's involved at a professional level. What we're not doing this time is asking you guys to make those referrals, because it's not fair for you to be the person that is trying to make that judgment call over whether or not that family needs the support. So yeah, we're working quite a lot. We've had a lot of referrals that are coming through. So what's really positive for us, all has been attending a lot of pastoral leads meetings at the primary schools. And people are coming forward asking about codes. Parents are saying they've got their code, when can they book? So the message has got out there a lot more quickly this year. And I think part of that is down to the work we've done, but partly down to the fact that the programme is just becoming recognised and people are kind of starting to expect that there will be something available. There is a mail drop going out to every home address of a child that is registered for benefits related free school meals. So there's around about 23,000 postcards, almost as a personal invitation to children through their own letterbox to tell them that they're eligible and invite them along to come and book onto a camp. There are posters up in food banks, in libraries. We've spoken to, as I say, lots and lots of professionals. We've been contacting the parents that were booked on over the summer and the Easter period. Obviously, over those times, we've been able to get lots of email addresses that we can contact with consent to say, get ready, save the booking link to your home screen, make sure that you've got a note on the fridge, make sure you've saved the date in your calendar. Like, we have done so much to make sure that parents are prepped and aware that the camps are coming. Yeah, so hopefully that answer, I think that answers Sarah's question from what she's put. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and that's just going to carry on as we ramp up towards bookings and delivery.
Thanks, Shelley. There's no more questions in the chat in terms of specific. I don't know if anyone's got any specifics they want to ask me. I'm more than happy. We've got 10 minutes, so either you can, if you don't want to ask on camera or on loud, you can obviously still put it in the chat, but we have still got 10 minutes. So if anyone has any specific questions, obviously the recording will be available, and we've got knowledge base on Playwaze stuff as well. So if you don't want to necessarily re-listen to me, you can go and have a little explore on the knowledge base of kind of what add-ons are, etc. All of those little bits in the system that you weren't quite sure about. So yeah, I'm happy to take any questions if anyone has any more, or post them in the chat. Or I might be met with deathly silence. I don't know. I've maybe gone too quickly.
That's what, actually, just while people are thinking, I'm just going to share my screen for a second to show you some of those assets that Emma was talking about earlier. So when it comes to you uploading your activities, what we've done, hopefully that's switched over now.
Yeah.
So if you go to our homepage, not only is there a wonderful event in January that you can use the link to book onto, but separate from that, if you come up to menu and holiday activity fund, this is kind of the entry into the portal for Happy. So here you've got the link that parents will click and will be sent to book a camp. And at the moment, again, another different thing that we've done, this link didn't open until bookings were released for the summer, but for winter, we've had this link open the whole time, and we've been pushing families to come to it. Just to reiterate, this is the eligibility criteria. This is what you do if you don't meet it, but you think you're still sort of within that 15% bracket. This is when the camp's open. This is what you need to do. So we've been pushing lots and lots, and we've seen a lot of traffic going to that page, which is really positive. It's also the area for enrichment. So if anybody is unsure, uncertain, needs a little bit of support with their enrichment activity ideas, this existed during the summer, and I'm not sure that many people accessed it, but we have just continued adding to it. So we've got all sorts of different topics. And if you go into one of these portals, these are all links that then take you to videos, downloads, activity ideas, and we're just going to continue building on that, and we'll add in some sort of templates for winter activities, other arts and crafts and that sort of thing. So it's a really, really useful resource, and we want you to have a look at it and just get some ideas. And then this is the area that is essentially for providers to get information from. So this is where you would have found the grant application link in the beginning. This is where we've got the watch back links for the small bite-sized training sessions that we did. And then this is where you can download all of the links for your marketing. So same as when we did it over the summer, this will take you to a Canva template. If you don't have a Canva account, it is free. You just need to set up an account, click use template, and you can download that. And then you will be able to edit as much of the image as is not locked. So this is locked, the QR code is locked, but the content, the photo, that sort of thing, you'll be able to change. For the dashboard for Playwaze, you've got a dashboard banner, which is the one across the top, the activity image, which is what you need when you're uploading each activity, and then your avatar is the little circular image. But if you click on that, that just gives you a blank. I know it says that in the middle, but it is, you can very slightly see the outline. Use template. You can upload an image, and that is the exact size that you then need to make your marketing look as on point as it needs to. And similarly, if you go to the activity image, it's a slightly different size. You can just see the outline there. I assure you it's definitely there. And we've used these templates to add our camps as well, so we know that it works. Then we've got a few suggestions for marketing your camp. Following some of the stuff Emma said today, I'm actually going to update this before I share it with you. Emma, as that flicks over, can you see the Word document now?
No, it hasn't. It's still on your web page.
Okay, let me change to that. Okay, so hopefully that's now come up. So it's just giving you a few tips. It says, I actually think it's 40 characters that you've got. So just thinking about, as Emma said, the title, if you were to write happy camp, that doesn't tell a parent very much. If you put a bit more about what the camp's about, if you can fit in the location and the age group, it tells a parent much more, and it makes your camp much more appealing for them to book. A bit of a description about the camp, the links back to the images, and then just reminding you that while Playwaze will send out a confirmation and there will be reminders, it doesn't hurt you guys as providers to also contact your camp participants, whether it be via email or phone call if you want to, just so that they've got a really high level of customer service and parents feel completely informed about where they're going and where they're taking their children. So all of that is going to be shared with you after today. The booking, this video will be on that page where all of those marketing links are. And then you've got the HAF email address at the bottom as well, which is accessed daily by myself, Orla, Kate and Matt. So there are always at least 4 of us looking at that inbox. So if you send any emails, if you've got any queries, rest assured that we are looking at it and we are going to be communicating back with you. The last thing for you to know is that we're being really, really firm about the deadline for uploading activities. If your activity is not uploaded by midnight on the 30th, so that gives you a week from today, it won't be checked. We're going to go through really vigilantly to make sure that everything is uploaded. We need you to work with us as much as possible to make sure the booking system is ready for the 6th of December. So we need you to work with us to make sure that that's done and that's ready. If you've got any questions, let us know. But after the 30th of November, we won't be checking it. So any bookings that come through an activity you've uploaded, if there are any issues with it, it will be down to you, because we're giving you that window of when we're going to be able to check everything. And I know it sounds harsh, but we've got a lot of work to do. So we're trying to just make sure that it's strict. Kelly, does the booking system automatically go live, or do we have to change? No, you don't need to change any settings. What will happen is Emma and Playwaze issue us with a widget, which I will set to switch on probably at midnight on the 5th of December. So that as of the 6th, parents will be able to click that link and go in and make a booking. So you don't need to do anything. That's something we do our end. We upload the widget, we save it, we change the content on the page, and the activity finder is live.
The only thing I just want to add on top from our side, if you have any technical issues with Playwaze, so if there is anything that, hopefully nothing does go wrong, but if anything does go wrong or you spot something, we have a support team. So it's just support@playwaze.com is the email. You'll also see it in the need help buttons around the website. So if it's something technical, so probably something Shelley and the team at Hearts don't want to receive in terms of if they're not sure how to help. So if something does happen in the platform that you're not sure about, That's what Playways are here for. So please, if you're not sure where your query goes, you can obviously send it to both of us, and I'm sure Shelley will pass stuff on and the team will pass stuff on to us if they're not sure. But yeah, just to flag, if you do see anything that you're not sure about in the system, and we can help with that. So obviously you can send it through to support@playwaze.com as well. So we have got a dedicated support team to help you with the system as well, if you get stuck. Yeah, that's it from me. Hopefully that was really useful in terms of how to get started again with the activities feature. Obviously you can rewatch and listen if you want to. But yeah, I'd recommend just going back in and having a bit of a mess around. Obviously you can delete stuff before it goes live. You've kind of obviously got that window, as Shelley said, to kind of get adding stuff again and check how the setup is. It's not too dissimilar from summer. There's obviously some new extra bits in there as well. But yeah, hopefully all goes well over the next month or so to get stuff uploaded.
Brilliant. And just Emma, just to confirm, so everybody's communities have been locked up until today. What time will they be unlocked by? So now you guys we know that you've been to the sessions. We want to try and make it mandatory that you've seen the training before we unlock your community, so that it again helps to resolve any hiccups. What time can people access their community from?
So it's scheduled to start, my developer's going to start doing it at 11 o'clock. So it will be between this next half an hour window to unlock your communities. Okay, so if you go in now and you've got some locks, I'm sorry, we might just need a little bit more time to get you sorted. So yeah, from 11:30 onwards. Okay.
Brilliant, thank you.
All right. Fab. You're all free to leave if you want to. I'll stop the recording now as well.